ZETA ディビジョン所属のユアです。1試合目で初めての場所ですごく緊張してみんな、調子を出せてなかったので次はもっと頑張ります。ステージ上に立って初めて緊張したので次はその緊張を克服できるように次の試合に挑みたいです。
Now we know where Moko is. Do you go for this Beyonce? Oh, she's got to come through it. Okay, Moko going to be forced out by the flash. Still able to fight two with this judge, jury, executioner, you name it. Moko has lived that life.
次の試合で敗退が決まってしまうので、フライトはまだ戦ったことがないんですけど、次の敵もやっぱトップチームなのですごく強いんだろうなっていう不安もあるし、もう絶対に負けたくないっていう闘争心があります。絶対に負けないようにみんなで全力を出して悔いのないように全力で挑みたいと思います。
Well, I am pretty sure that you are and the rest of ZETA Division have shaken off all of those nerves because now that energy is in their favor. They're really feeling it now. You saw how they were jumping and hugging each other after that first map win for ZETA Division on an international stage.
And definitely, they found the key that they needed to press, right, to get back into the game. Is, you know, a couple of rounds will give you some confidence and then everything falling in your favor, taking this to a map number 3 and the possibility of getting your first match win at an international event.
We knew that they were here to play from round 2. They came out swinging and didn't stop. This is the ZETA that we've been hoping to see, and this is the Japanese team at this international event that we've been waiting to see for a long time. Now's their time to take it all the way. And Ascent, honestly, looking at this map pool, seems like their best opportunity to take a map in general.
See, Mitch is getting hyped.
No,
we're all
he's
hyped.
way more hyped than you are. I can tell you that well.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to keep the bias down right now, but it's great to see, definitely, especially
Please
since
don't.
you know there were a lot. Sure, I'll jump up and down a little bit, especially since this stage, by the way, is very revealing. I feel like I need to. Bea is just so tall, okay? But going back to the match,
You're always there.
We have, of course, you are. Going back to the match, you know, Serena, we just have to give her a shout out here.
Absolutely, yes. Because
Incredible.
on that first match, you can see right now on your screens how everybody has left the stage but her. Serena decided to stay and just practice. Honestly, she did not have a first good map. We were talking about how she was being caught up time and time again on the attack. But you know, being the Cypher, you have to watch the flank, and she wasn't getting the numbers. And in this one, on this burst, she was on a different level, Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Starbound was just diffing her in that first map, and she felt that. Sat on the stage, and you know what? Hard work pays off. What a phenomenal turnaround. Look at those stats from one to the other. And I went back and looked with this team at when the last time Serena played a map like Sunset and wasn't in the bottom 2 on the scoreboard. Didn't happen. Didn't happen for this squad before. This is the best performance at just the right time.
I'm telling you, from now on, we're going to have more players because, you know, the first time that you see that everybody had left their chairs, it was just her. It's not that everybody's staying there and just taking the little time that you have to talk a little bit about things. She's like, no, I just need to be by myself. I need to fix this one thing. This one thing is going to make me feel better. And girl, it sure did.
It was that reset. And
Totally.
I love how she was able to really rally back, especially since, you know, a lot of players can put so much pressure on themselves on this stage, right? And, you know, the Game Changers players are no different to that. We saw how she was able to just wipe off map 1 from her head, reset, go back to I just woke up and I'm just going to play the best game ever. That's what you see, right? And I think that really showed with the rest of ZETA Division too. They've been saying how in Pacific, you know, their mantra is really to play together as a team. And I think that really showed, especially since there was so much more aggression from ZETA Division this time around.
Yeah, exactly. I grabbed an example because I think that especially as the rounds were piling up and that second half, we saw FlyQuest maybe going in a little bit too deep. And as you're saying, ZETA playing together, doing this early aggression that also, you know, makes FlyQuest just go on the aggression, but also they are ready with all the utility and all the different positions to be very aware of the space that they're given, where the utility can be used against them and how they can take those duels. And even in these situations with on many days you would give this 3v3 to go on FlyQuest's side, the way that they force them to burn this kind of utility, dodge everything, and win the duels, also have the trust and the confidence to take those duels, to see themselves as winners.
And I think a big part of that was the fact that Serena had this big turnaround. In fact, in this very clip, the first kill, the one getting aggressive, is Serena and Co. And the fact that she had already played so many rounds to the best of her ability, started to feel it and say, all right, Starbound, you caught me every time I tried to push last map, but this time around it's going to be different. What a turnaround it was from this squad. And you know the best part? I started out in this video saying, when we move on to Ascent, that's somewhere that I'm excited to see, because I think that last time Suzu was besting Dodds. Suzu is on fire right now, going into a map where she was able to shut down Dodds. This is a scary time to be a FlyQuest Red fan.
Oh yeah, and you can see, you know, the whole of FlyQuest Red, though, they're jumping up and down and they're getting their energy up too, right? Yeah. We just saw Thea, and I believe it was Ev jumping up and down, just, you know, trying to get that energy, keep that energy up.
Flowing. Energy flowing, because of course the last map is going to be that Ascent. And do not forget, we have Lace subbing in for Sunder. Now, one of the characteristics of this Ascent was the deadlock coming in. And even though Lace, we talk about her versatility, one agent she has not played yet is the deadlock. So, you know, we heard from Jovi saying there might be some surprises here and there. Is Ascent going to be part of that?
Yeah, and one other factor as well, Serena on fire. This is usually a map where, like pretty much every map, where Starbound thrives. Well, if Serena is able to take the fight to Starbound, it's going to be a very different game we get to witness.
Well, who is going to take this indeed? Well, chat, you can get in and vote right now. ZETA or FlyQuest, do spam in chat right now, because I feel like this is now even. It is now 50-50 for both of these teams. Maybe during map 1, we probably favored FlyQuest. Maybe in map 2, now suddenly it's like ZETA's going up. Who is it going to be?
I mean, it's difficult, right? Because we were having the conversation of maybe that Haven was not the best of picks. Maybe this Ascent, after the performance that we saw against Crew, and what you were saying, Mitch, would have been a better situation. But I think that right now the ball is on FlyQuest Yard. Like, they need to decide if they're going to allow this to happen, because they've become their worst enemy.
Yeah, most certainly. There's a lot of factors that we've talked about here today, but I'm assuming that's just because it's early, no? 90% swinging to ZETA. Hey, listen, we're in good company today, Mika.
Hey, that's insane too, considering it's like what time right now over in over in APAC, right? They're most of them are actually asleep. This is quite impressive. I think they're feeling, you know, exactly how much their teamwork improved on the side of ZETA.
You'd think they'd be asleep. Maybe they've got good friends, because if I was over there and ZETA win a map, you better wake me up.
Mitch, wake up, because we're going to map 3. We're going into Ascent, and we're seeing that deadlock on Lace.
Exactly, and I think that yesterday, in case you have not seen this, you know, composition on the works, it thrives so much on those post plans. And I love the fact that they're starting on the attack, because that is where it's going to shine the most. Yes, it is already difficult enough to enter the side with 2 Sentinels, but if they are able to get the same space that they were getting in Sunset, as into going onto side and getting the spike down, that is when he's going to favor them, and that was not a problem for them in the second map.
Well, it's worth saying as well that Lace has fit in, because it's very easy to focus. ZETA just won the map. Of course, we want to talk about that, but Lace fit in beautifully. Let's see if she can do it on the deadlock.
It's map number 3. The winner moves on to face Falcons Vega tomorrow, and the loser goes home. One last time, here's Uber and Wyatt.
Plenty to be excited about here, folks. ZETA Division's first map win at GCC. Suzu's second map win at GCC, of course, after that one picked up by Fennel back in 2022. And now we have a real series on our hands. Heading over to Ascent here. We've got to talk about the deadlock, because if ZETA do want to play for these retakes, it gets harder going up against that Sentinel.
Absolutely, and that's their bread and butter. That's what was winning them so many rounds on Sunset. Full set A retakes. You just can't do that against a deadlock. You have to flood in before that utility comes in, or just fight hard to stop Fly from even getting past the chokes, getting out of A main, getting out of B main. ZETA are going to have to be very proactive. They can't play their usual style. And speaking of proactivity, round 1, 5 players down mid.
This is rather exploratory, isn't it? 1-for-1 here. Moko trying to hold her down there from Catwalk side, and ZETA aren't done here. They're still committing players to tiles. But that cyber cage will allow FlyQuest to get in to be unhindered and set up that deadlock wall over towards Market. You are, though, eventually gets what he was looking for.
Yeah, they knew that Ev was caught in the spawn. All three players were rotating to be able to find that pick. Three players who, by the way, have far more combined HP than Fly. Thea and Starbound in danger of going down just to one Sheriff shot. Even just a Sheriff wallbang would be enough.
Still, there's a lot to cover this. Look at the Deadlock util set up here in this post plant. Blake's a true plug-and-play option coming in for Sonda. Oh, there it is. There's that Sheriff hit that you were talking about. Here's the sit net. Still, Lakes and Thea. Strong wind to blow them over at this point. They are very, very low. And ZETA are coming in with 3 here. They are hoping to take some contact, then gets off the angle, but UR makes it 3 for the round. And the ZETA division get themselves that pistol.
And what a time to mention proactivity as they 5-push mid, top of the round. Better trades for Fly initially, but it was really heads up from ZETA. There was that duel taken with Ev over towards A side. They realized the rest of the team, they're trying to get the B side that they know is free, easy to take. Time to just cut off Ev as a unit. Take them down. And then that superior HP working together, completely circumventing the Deadlock util, by the way, and exploding out of B main with what little util they had. Just the combo of the Flash and the Recon. Exactly what they needed to win that out.
Outlaw for Suzu. Ares picked up here by UR. A little bit of spam, although it takes them in response. UR already down to 60-odd. Starbound does suffer somewhat at her hands, but probably nothing to write home about in the early stages. Another push up on Catwalk here. Suzu determined to get good lines for this Outlaw.
Yeah, but that plant money, Starbound picks up the Sheriff, and it's obviously a good counter over towards B, where your Sentinel's typically going to be playing.
She has to flick this. Oh my word!
Down B.
What a connection. Spike went loose there as well. Another one perhaps? Dodo asking for it. Stay of execution for the Jet of FlyQuest Red.
At this point, it is all but over for FlyQuest. A bit of a risky jump from Suzu, all good. If these players do try to get into B main, the only place they can go, they'll be meeting some mollies. UR backside, spam through main. It's a bit tough for Fly at this point.
Dodo now here, essentially stuck on Speedway, with a couple of players separated from her by that dark cover. So Moko goes to check this for free. And he has some spray back through that smoke, but Moko can go to work with them here.
1 enemy remaining.
3 for the Spectre, 2 for ZETA Division.
Fully pure bonus round that is going to allow them to bring
USDA, grade A, bonafide, grass-fed, pasture raised.
every single gun into the next. Economy is looking excellent for ZETA already. We'll see what FlyQuest can do now with this Deadlock on attack. I'm wondering if this is something that ZETA frequently go up against. Really, in Japan, this is obviously a very common comp over in NA that you need some good experience practicing against. ZETA just need to be ready for this adjustment now that we're on the buy runs we mentioned earlier. And wow, look at this. Set play on the bonus. Expect nothing less from ZETA. The push down mid with the dark cover, the recon over into tiles, doesn't net any kills, but it does net map control.
Suffocating. All the FlyQuest now corralled essentially towards the tile side of the map. With Thea over towards top mid. That Spike in her vicinity. So it doesn't opt to be the other side of the pins here to B main, so FlyQuest will be allowed to filter through here. And this KJ has to get to work.
They're trying to deal with this Molotov on the ground, but they weren't actually able to break it with the shock nor the spam from Lace. So a small bit of util to still contend with if they intend on going for that B play. They have to re-clear all of mid now as well. Dark cover for Cat, indicating that they want to go for this B split.
So no true rifles for ZETA for this bonus. Oh, there it is. Lace serves it up. And again, this is full armor for all of FlyQuest. It's got to be headshot. Suzu gets the perfect opener. That's the Deadlock down for the post-plant strategy.
30 seconds left.
Suzu's going to be on this angle as well. Opportunity for another.
Tailwind available. They are going to be caught, and Suzu gets away with murder yet again. At large. Here's the ZETA Division duelist. Ev's going to be posted up there just around the corner, spotted here, goes for the peak, fights 2, Wayward spray, 2 headshots still as a result of it, and Suzu looks to challenge, gets rid of the scoped weapon and goes for it! Once more, ZETA Division, this time shut down the gun round of Fly.
So confident on that flood, Suzu immediately capturing that same momentum, that same fire from the second half of Sunset, where she took over the game, extending the lead, extending the economic lead, crucially here as well. On typically the favorite side of Ascent, the snowball is rolling.
Oh!
Ryota is so hyped up. Jovi, a bit more silent than he was on Haven.
Absolutely ropeable.
Right here.
Suzu just like, give me the bulldog, let me go to work. 5-1. Zeta Division have that firepower.
Hell of a lot of light armors to shoot at from Suzu. No reason to upgrade just yet, but even with the Ops little brother, you can still see the impact that any of those long-range scoped weapons has defensively on this map. It's crucial for your Jet to be hitting with those.
Moko's got to be quick on her feet here. Dodo not dealt with now as the rest of FlyQuest are stuck behind the KO util.
Yeah,
Nicely done by Arco.
Really good molly from Arco. That's exactly what you want to do against these site execs. Expose the Jet on the dash-in. Disconnect them from the pack.
I think Zeta are surprised that was all it took to get Fly to pull out of the A side. They're still set up there with 4 players. It's just Serena here to take contact for this B hit. Take contact you will. Still Starbound, lucky. 5 HP left on them. Straight to Speedway they get. We're going to start seeing this deadlock util set up now to make the post part a bit more painful. But look at how damaged FlyQuest are. 4 players, Starbound down to 5.
Oh, we've already mentioned it, but it is that deadlock util that is going to be the important factor in all of these post-plant situations. But you have to imagine, yeah, with this gun advantage, with Suzu actually picking up the Vandal, exchanging with a weak Moko, that they should be able to win this favored retake situation.
Okay, Ev's going to be lit here. Suzu to capitalize on the ping through the cloud burst.
So well done.
Lace with annihilation here. All of Zeta Division now, they've got the pieces on the board. It's time to find the checkmate. Time is getting a little bit short. Annihilation here for Lace might go awry if she fires it off here. There's a catch. Suzu now getting reeled in and Serena went down. You are having to push up and FlyQuest hold their ground. Arco trying to free the leader and Suzu gets the frag. Another one out of the cocoon. She emerges and she brings the house down. But there just wasn't time for Zeta to get a defuse.
Just so much delay from that annihilation. That was so regimented from Zeta, dealing with B main with the recon and the Suzu dash into the smoke. It just took them too much time. That delay from the deadlock, even in a round like that, is the significant factor. What an effort from Suzu at the end.
4 kills out of the annihilation.
Mental.
Arco looking to rescue the spiritual leader there.
A consolation. The economy for Fly still hangs in the balance, so you will take that if you're Zeta. Suzu pops those blades instantly into the round, foregoing a rifle.
This man could be deadly. Okay, you guys are able to find one. M trades it out, neural theft now for Starbound. All of Zeta basically set up towards mid, pings over towards spawn as well. As Lace will look to set up some sort of post-plant util. Double stack there with Thea.
Nowhere to run!
Okay, Hunter's Fury here. After the attacker side of the rest of Fly looking to capitalize. Serena's
obscured the view.
The line. That's right, she couldn't quite see that. Also tagged by that last hit of the Fury. Suzu with the Blade Storm, though, still has some work to do. They've got to get into the site. Our drone to come out to get an early read on Zeta's retake. Ping Suzu, or at least attempts to. In she comes. Moko TPing to the site, gets the information, gonna cancel that straight away, and Suzu needs to find a way through this util. F brought down, Blades refreshed. A second for Suzu, and there's still more to find into Boathouse, and Thea's able to bring it down. 3 versus 1, Thea against the world it feels, and she can't hold on. Arco will get the defuse done, and Zeta, another round on the board. This defense side really getting rolling.
They're just able to get it to half Moko with a fantastic hold, protecting the diffuser, but it's just Suzu relentless on the Jet. 11 for 2, 5 rounds in, stunned up by the trip of the deadlock. Irrelevant, just that little jump, throwing Ev's aim off was enough to find that Blade Storm kill last second. Heading into this event, even Suzu's Jet was by far her lowest rated duelist. Look at the step up, hitting that next level.
Now we're starting to see Japan's first female solo Radiant come alive. I mean, it's a 9-day difference after halftime on Sunset. Suzu has really taken the game over. FlyQuest, especially on this map so far, just haven't been able to find that foothold. That round 4 win gave them a staging ground. That previous round, though, that was the one they had to convert on to keep the economy going, to at least allow them to build up. ZETA Division stifling. They've really choked FlyQuest out on so many of these defense-sided rounds.
Absolutely, and you can see there as well, Fly, they were still able to get into the site and get those tripwires downstairs lane as well, which is tough to contend with. You saw it stun up Suzu, obviously.
Lace gets in as well with the deadlock util.
They worked through, waded through that util, but regardless, you can see ZETA trying to adapt, fighting at the choke, how they have that alarm bot placed, or the molly rather, placed on the left side, and UR was just firing with like the Odin right in the choke. They were trying to stop them there before they can get in and set up that deadlock util. That's what you need to do. And then they played the round on hard mode and were still able to win it out.
ZETA doing a good job of sort of punishing the really lack of flashes here for FlyQuest as well. That's why you can post up aggressively with an Odin like that.
Now Suzu with the operator in hands. Last round didn't have it just because economically they needed to use the Blade Storm. A Serena elsewhere on the map. That was just B main able to find that first. A bit of spam through.
Yeah, helped with the Omen spam, I think. That was it.
Anti-eco, a stabilization round from ZETA.
I think FlyQuest don't shoot the dart there that comes in from UR. Two of them get lit up inside B main. Oh, Dodonut really testing the waters here. Suzu doesn't leave the angle, not for a moment though. They are elsewhere going down. That's that B-main presence, of course, amply neutralized.
Wow, what an ice-cold shot from Dodonut.
Can she do it again? She's gonna have to, that's the problem. Just what Dodonut has to do to mimic a fraction of ZETA's power right now is unreasonable.
I mean, ZETA's power that's being fueled by fearless play. Again, just the juxtaposition between the ZETA that we're seeing at GCC and the ZETA that was qualifying here that got 3-0'd by Zipto. A ZETA that were lacking the confidence at times, even in each other, to swing for each other, to take duels where they felt favored. And now we're seeing them play like this. It's a team that has made such an improvement in that crucial aspect of the game just in the past month or so.
Yeah, here's that dart. Oh, God!
Everything is just so synced up with them right now. All of the little plays finding value. All of the utility just extracting every ounce of value that it possibly could.
Arco was saying there were no nerves for ZETA up until they had to face True Blaze. Now they get a taste of the stage, and they're like a fish to water. They've adapted. Now they're comfortable. Another great ping off UR. Now she's able to actually use Hunter's Fury with information
because of the drone being popped. The 0 point in.
Flying on a gun round. They're few and far between for the North American squad. And they're already down a player, Lace down to half.
And now what? How do you try to re-clear mid with no Sova utility? You can't drone up. You are so weary. You are so susceptible to this operator now. You're weary to expose yourself to any angles. You can't really jump spot, you can't jiggle peek because you might go down, and there goes there. Immediately, Dodonut does find in the meantime this pick into market, exposing the B site. Is all on UR with the Odin in the back. At least needs to find one or just survive so the flood can come in.
Help is on the way. UR didn't want to wait for it though, and instead she goes for a pretty audacious swing. Dodonut does punish that. That's going to even up the numbers here. Still, from all angles, ZETA can come in for a retake. Arco has a flash to work with, even a 0 point hit for that information, so they check close, they see nothing. Cam those spots Arco coming, she doesn't seem to mind that though. Here's the flash, Paranoia also in the boathouse now. If there's a swing, it's a kill for Suzu. Sit net used, Dodonut still with their third for the round. Then ZETA still have to take a further step forward. Into the breach they go. And Dodonut is waiting for the operator to show, but Lace takes a swing! And from Speedway, Moko's there!
It's just so patient! So patient, Suzu on the same angle, just sitting there, never feeling the pressure of the clock of the time dwindling. They're just
so clean!
They allow Fly to expose themselves to the angles. And the second that shot rings out, Moko swings as well. They are just in the flow state. I mean, Jovi looks so stunned at this point compared to where they were at on Haven.
You have nothing to force Suzu off these angles anymore.
I didn't even realize that was just intuition. That was a wallbang. Maybe saw the cross, I'm going to imagine, but
7 rounds in, Suzu 14-3. This is domain expansion, folks.
And on map 2, Moko had really kind of taken a step back after dragging them through some rounds on Haven. But with the two of them, this duo in this form, Fly are struggling.
They need to get some post-glance FlyQuest. They've got to get into these sites, that's the issue. Okay, a lot of info for ZETA Division. They know what's afoot here. Some action through mid there. That was a trade. Suzu down early. Annihilation comes out. Arco going to go down to the Blade Storm. Dodo is getting in and upon the side. Moko with a TP straight into the line of fire. And it's all down to UR. Miles away. Still finds F there with that spray, but she is down to 5 paltry points of HP. The deadlock wall in the way, and Lace will get there. FlyQuest with a Mastercard Thrifty come up for air.
Just a straight up full A executors. They drew it up in the playbook with that barrier coming over top to cut off that pressure that could come in from Tree.
There's an early exchange here.
I didn't even see that. Yeah, that dual win in mid, and then unfortunately just that missed teleport from Moko over towards Hell.
She's trying to get behind Dice, maybe?
Yeah, was feeling the pressure of that Annihilation, was just trying to get into a position. Yeah, try and confuse Lace on that.
Here we go.
I mean, what a time to pull around out of thin air. Zeta's economy is in position to be broken now.
Yeah, it's been big spends, right? A lot of Odin's being rebought. Operators being
yeah.
ZETA have been splashing the cash to try and snowball this lead. Suzu is going to ask the question here. Are FlyQuest even here? Question mark. She's going to be stymied briefly by this tripwire, so won't challenge that, but good information picked up either way.
Moko just jiggling, ready to fall back at sight of any players, and doesn't even see one, but here's a couple, so time to get out of there. Both paranoid, and that Molly as well. Moko is in so much trouble backside.
There's a gap in the Molly. FlyQuest are able to get in onto the side. Moko's going to be brought down. No use for the crouch net, no need for it even. But you are. The spray is good from heaven.
They don't even
need... isn't coming.
Just play patient. They don't even need to fight right now with the lockdown coming in. They're getting forced out.
Taya has to play from Wind here. Starbound, though, has gotten into a decent backstab position, but it seems Serena is aware of it, at least to a degree. Taya doesn't have ultimate, but can still walk this spike out. The issue is that Suzu finally made her way out of B and is set up to interrupt this, to catch the cross.
If Suzu hits this shot, it is over the dark cover.
There is Giga Brain.
Obviously, here's that, and oh my god, Serena was actually ready, cleared that angle, but Starbound wins the duel. Does Suzu just try and fight this right now? There's only 12 seconds. Starbound needs to assist.
They're going to be on the line. They're going to be ready to catch the cross. Starbound goes into the cyber cages. Arco tentatively tries to get across. Suzu is well headed to Speedway. Spike down. Starbound on the line. Suzu, peek. She finds it! And now it's dangerous here for Starbound. They can't get back in. And the stars align for ZETA Division. They take their 7th.
That was a round of the utmost importance for them to just keep this momentum going. After the eco round win from Fly, they could have snatched it all away. But yet again, reduced to nothing. They tried their best in that situation. It was a cool play from Thea and Starbound, but this flood from ZETA, again, it's just oozing this confidence on every round. They're playing to the most aggressive win cons. They do understand how to play around this deadlock completely. Getting back in with that lockdown to an extent, I got worried that they were even playing too confident. But it's UR getting in with that Odin, spraying down 2.
You can tell they're having fun. Thea doesn't dark cover that cross from Tiles. The round's over then and there. Great presence of mind to throw that up.
And again, with the way these rounds are playing out, we have to keep watching the economy. So many players going down on both sides. Both teams at risk of an eco round right now. Critical round late in the half.
Franklin here is going to slow FlyQuest down. Dodo doesn't want to dash across it. Still, Tailwind is at the ready though, which is going to use it to come forward instead. Moko had to be the anchor. Going to be brought down, but Arco here from heaven finds one and then backs off. Allows FlyQuest to have the side for now. And Neural Theft here for Starbound will give all the info.
They do have to take their time now, breaking that barrier mesh over towards Tree. It is obnoxious. It does finally go down. And then they're going to have to contend with these trips as well. Suzu over top, low HP.
16 and 4 for Suzu. Lake's trying to get the spray down here from Hell. It's not bad. Good util as well. Sonic Sensor goes off. It's going to slow ZETA as they try and get across. You are speculating, trying to find Lace's position, and they get her in the end. 8 defense-sided rounds for ZETA Division. Which is about as good as it gets.
Just swinging together as a team, all of them flooding in from heaven, and it's Suzu cracking the door open with the updraft down to such low HP, couldn't connect that initial knife, and then there you go, the last one. If Starbound wins that, we're looking at a totally different round, but Suzu at the moment just cannot be stopped. White hot.
There's a looseness from ZETA that seems to be working in their favor. They are just taking that challenge heaven. As soon as there's action on the side from FlyQuest, there's no fear. We don't see any players turning away, running away from overdrives. None of that attitude anymore from ZETA Division. They want the fight.
Luckily for Fly, with the spike being planted, they're not going to be on that pure eco. Again, a full investment to the extent that Dodo just has a judge, just a stinger for Ev, who at least has the Hunter's Fury. Dodo is in desperate need of closing the gap here, finding an opportunity to use this shotgun, but just caught immediately!
Suzu finds that one instead. Serena was waiting for it. Now reveals her position in tiles, but the spray is good and Suzu gets involved yet again from Market. The force up for FlyQuest is going to fall flat on its face as Ev finds themselves with a whole lot to do and a spike out in front of them on the other side of the wall, and Paranoia will claim it. That's 9 for ZETA.
They have the perfect read on this comp. They're just getting crushed at the chokes, FlyQuest. Absolutely crushed. Fantastic.
18 kills for Suzu, by the way.
It is meant. I mean, what was that air shot?
Oh, from Market.
After the updraft from Dodo going to slide down from the roof. Punished. Picks up the angle on main again, where still it's you are fighting at the smoke, playing off of the mollies that are being set up by Serena. And at this point, it's just the loss bonus that is keeping Fly economically in this to any reasonable extent here. A lot of light armors, but at least a few Vandals.
2 players for Fly here towards the top of the mid. Now the narrative has to shift, and the question asked, do Fly get eliminated from GCC again in straight series?
And that is the risk that both of these teams are at right now. Just being eliminated into. It happened to Suzu last time she was at GCC in 2022. Couldn't get a series win. Is so close right now. Never been closer. And is just determined to get there at all costs. The reaction time is sickening.
And Hunter's Fury from UR as well. A good little bit of damage amongst it. Aku does fall though. That's through mid. So Fly have an access point to the B side, but Serena pushed up into B main. All this util to play off as well. Turret clear by Dodonut, and they're actually pulling out. It might be in response to that Omen TP, but Starbound deals with Moko. Now A is up for grabs.
Fully exposed, a couple Fly players a bit low on HP. Maybe an opportunity for an easy dual win or a bit of spam through one of these areas in the map like Hell or around Dice. It is possible. Door going to be closed. Barrier mesh as well. With the spike planted, think of all the delay this is going to cause. You are having to waste valuable seconds just breaking that piece of util.
Suzu going to wrap around here. This is going to be a pretty late emergence for ZETA Division from that A main side. Oh, Annihilation. You are able to get away. No! Caught! That's an utter Annihilation if I've ever seen one. And there's nothing that can be done to save the Heaven player. UR will have to capitulate. And now again, Suzu and Serena far too late to really have any step to this. FlyQuest get 3 on the board. But a pretty disastrous half for them with the deadlock.
Finally able to make a good rotation back to that A site, and that deadlock util finally really paying off in one of those situations. Just stymieing UR up in heaven. But that is just a tale of speed, confidence from ZETA, flooding back in, fighting at the chokes, and countering that agent perfectly.
The stage is set. It's a long climb for FlyQuest to take this series. 9-3 as ZETA Division lead healthily going into the halftime break, but the defender side coming up for FlyQuest. Can they get it done? Can they stay alive? We're going to find out after this. It's a pretty typical halftime scoreline for an Ascent game, in fairness. FlyQuest on the attack side, they really only find rounds here and there. In fact, every 3 rounds, they manage to get 1. Now, obviously, they need a great pistol to springboard in the second half. The reality is, they don't really get to leverage the deadly post-plant potential of that deadlock on the attack side. So now the defense util with a double sentinel comp has to be immaculate.
Absolutely. It's so tough to straight up hit sights when you're Zeta Division against this comp. If you're trying to play with that fast early round pace, you might just run into the site where there's a bit too much of that Sentinel util to work around. You're just going to get stopped by the tripwires. Enemies, or rather, you know, some of your teammates might get stuck in the choke because of the stun from Deadlock, and then that disconnects Suzu from the pack. Those are the kind of dangerous situations they're going to need to avoid here. They're going to need to play with some patience at times, making sure to break pieces of utility, find out where the things are being set up frequently. It's a tough comp to play against. They knew how to counter it on that first half, though, so you have to trust that they have an understanding of how to beat it here, too. Camera dealt with immediately.
Nothing to be seen off that 0 point here. Starbound playing well and truly off the site. With backup from Ev from Market. Zeta here really just exchanging pleasantries. Some util thrown at B. Obviously, on a pistol round, this deadlock wall is pretty annoying to try and deal with.
Immediately prioritizing getting the null command, getting the orb to Akko, because you want to be able to just turn off as many of those trips as you can when you're hitting one of those sites, yeah.
Mid is being watched here pretty studiously by Dodonut. Going to see Akko in just a moment. The time is not really there, but she sees a sliver of her adversary straight down mid. Opts to give it up. It's going to be a smoke there just to compound that issue. So Zeta now would like to work the way into Market, but a flash there. Going to slow them up.
Their own flash, unfortunately, just slightly misplaced. It's all right, does still at least get the job done of drawing some attention. Pivot now to A, where the barrier mesh had gone down. And main lace just as the dark cover falls.
Big pick up there still. Zeta will be able to cross. They do have access to this A site. You are with the spike. Drop down the default location. It's going to be Serena to take contact, though. That's already one. Dodo responds. Now FlyQuest have the presence hit from heaven, and They is going to drop down instantly into Moko's right click. Another for Moko. No, Dodo Nut shuts it down, but there's Akko. Almost finds 3. Leaves it up to UR, but the spike is down and Ev is low. UR not going to be pinged out by that, but she gives away a position. This ping is everything. Ev has to clear that, still was going to get lit. And UR knows there's no need to hurry. Bides her time. A pistol win for Zeta would be backbreaking for FlyQuest. And she knows how much rests on this round. She'll play for time. Healthy with light armor. But Ev, what a headshot! I cannot overstate the importance of that one kill. Ev might have saved the day here for Fly.
On the jump up, the new addition to Fly that had been with them in stage 3 after Lace had gotten that injury. Their first time competing in a game with the magnitude of this, the importance of this, and a must-win round. 1 versus 1.
That is unreal.
So ready for it, reading it.
Let's go! Yeah, I want to win! Yeah!
I mean, I'm glad they do want to win. It's a fairly important game, actually, so that makes sense.
Maybe the most important of the year.
Yeah, if you're Jovi, the coach, you're glad to hear that, honestly, the way he's sweating bullets when you go to his camp.
The headsman's axe swooshes past FlyQuest for now. They get themselves a crucial pistol round. Dodonut on record says, we struggle to win when we're not having fun. FlyQuest here at least get some wind in their sails. Dodo should be able to hold this pretty comfortably now. Not a ton to force her off the line. Can outdrain this, of course. 0 point does much the same thing. Here is that deadlock wall. That's over towards a main area, though, so no split potential here for Zeta for the time being. Suzu selling it.
At least in these first 2 rounds, that is where the barrier mesh has gone. Immediately being thrown by Lace. Pivot now to B, with Suzu being left in mid. One trapwire to contend with, but down lane, Zeta go trying to get into the site. A moment for Moko, got that headshot, but not going to be enough. Plant down will be decent for the economy.
Yeah, superior weapons here for FlyQuest, do a lot of the heavy lifting. Starbound, though, just exposes himself. Serena tries to get into spawn there, but Dodonut's going to be waiting for it. There it is, FlyQuest. Good little conversion there on a 1 pistol.
They're cleaning everything up quite nicely in the end. Most of the weaponry going to be retained. Outlaw will struggle to get value, at least in terms of body shots, though, with ZETA getting the plant down, having classics anyway. They're going to have the maxed out buy that they need here.
If there's any time for Dota not to take over the game, it will be now.
And we did see on that first half... Oh, finally, Jovi's a little bit excited. But we did see on that first half, ZETA come out with an aggressive strat on their bonus round where they went for that tiles push down mid. See if Fly has anything else similar in store for us, anything similar like that, but doesn't seem to be the case. Just content playing around these trip setups.
Right, ZETA fancy a bit of mid control off the rip here. Ev will be passively jump peeking this.
Yeah, they don't actually have any of that Sentinel utility placed for passive info gain in mid, so Ev is required to go for the jump spots and eventually use this drone. Might get spammed through the wall if it ascends right there. I mean, so dangerous right there, honestly. What a risk taken.
Ev still wants a bit of spam. We'll have another crack at this as well off this recon. You are going to clear it straight away. So ZETA get through the first few layers of defense here through mid, and they might opt to pull out. So they do. There's still some of this deadlock utility. Both of the entry points over to A. Sonic sensors are set up.
The Sonic sensor over towards tree has been placed a couple times, so they should be ready to break it. Actually, nope. No, they're not that time. And they've gotten obscured a bit by that smoke coming through from Suzu.
Smoke thrown down towards tree that really just makes it impossible to play off that all-starbound. That hurts. They are still anchoring into the site. FlyQuest, though, with some weird weaponry. Again, the bonus for them here, and they're not really able to convert much on that at all. Lace and Dodo playing from heaven here, that's it. ZETA, if they can get a perfect gun round here, get rolling, get to 10, could spell disaster for the NA squad.
22 for 8 right now from Suzu. Again, just want to repeat that. Coming into this tournament, her lowest rated agent of all the duelists, and has stepped up to this level.
And now they wait. FlyQuest know, of course, they're going to buy for the next, but can they do some economic damage? Very good timing on the cloudburst there, forces a very wide swing, and Lace and Dodo will be handled. ZETA keep every rifle into the next round.
Of the utmost importance, and now for this, there is that null command that they've been working towards getting into the hands of Akko. Fly need to be ready for this. They need to have the tripwires set up on one side of the map and that Sentinel who set them on the other side of the map. So when the execute comes in, they're not going to actually be turned off.
They've done this too. Look at the minimap. Both the side from the deadlock playing away from the B side, which is where all that Sentinel util is.
And then just stacking their players towards A. This is the kind of standard play that you want to go for. You have to be aware of tracking that null command when you're playing this double senti comp. Something they've definitely ran up against many times in scrims. They're ready to deal with this.
So tick in the box for FlyQuest there. They've made the right adaptation here into an null command round.
Take flight.
Still a few more boxes to check, but look, they've got Dota Nut with an operator. They're fully bought up, and with a Nodin as well.
Early Sova drone. And
not quite hitting that sonic sensor.
But they know it's, well, actually no, yeah, that's tough. I was like, wait, surely it's not there, right? That was a lot of sport. And unfortunately, it is there, and we'll continue to get some of that passive information. What? Just Suzu catching the burst?
They don't have Sentinel util in mid. You said it last round, Wyatt. This time it gets exploited.
What a blunder. Molly down, 4 spawn, they can't do a thing, can't even really spam through on this.
Moko can catch the cross. This is so devastating. 1 and 2 for Moko. And the wheels are starting to come off for FlyQuest.
Planted.
Look at their money, Wyatt. This could be it right here.
No option but to save. They can't even teleport across. I mean, if ZETA really wanted to get crazy, they could have tried to punish that. But no, they don't. I mean,
You have to save.
They just want to retain their weapons, play this intelligently. Yeah, there's no option but save for Dodo. That up next round, gonna have to ring out. Dodo has not been able to really get too much going on this map. Hasn't played poorly by any means, has found her moments for sure. But up against the duelist that is in prime form, Suzu has just reached that next echelon of play in this series after the first half of Sunset, and Moko just snatches another rifle away. Dodo needs to live.
She's got to get that up, and Moko's going to go looking for this. Dodo, can she hold on to it? Yeah, Moko opts to check Hell instead, so Jet maintains the weapon. But Wyatt, we're going to talk about this. Time out for FlyQuest right now. FlyQuest are not using much util to cover mid, right? But they were using F to jump peek it from spawn. That round, Ev is in market, checking that raw with an Odin in hand.
Yeah, that is a critical error. Maybe thinking that there was a cam on that or something, but the cam was over on A where there were multiple players. Some kind of miscommunication as far as the setup there. They played around that null command like we were talking about at the beginning, but something wasn't exactly how it should have been as far as what they've been doing in scrims on a round like that to counter the null command. How things are being set up, really unfortunate. Caught completely unaware. The free entry for Suzu.
It's one thing to take a 9-3 at halftime. It's Ascent. That's fine. You win the pistol, take that anti-eco. The bonus round that goes horribly wrong, you don't get any guns away from ZETA Division, and then you have a critical error that you walk into in round number 16. Now you've got nothing but the operator to play around.
Truly.
Get ZETA to match points if you can't stop them here.
Truly, at this point, Fly need to overcome challenges in all aspects of the game.
This is where champions are made.
ZETA are hitting hard individually. Suzu, clearly the best player right now in the server. They have to contend with her. They have to contend with the coaching from Ryota just being utterly fantastic in this series. All of the momentum. A nearly insurmountable economical lead. ZETA will never be on an eco in this.
There could be a fast hit towards A, and there's no deadlock util set up to stop. There's no wall early. Up comes ZETA, just walking on in.
And with that dark cover down, vision for Dodona with that operator and tree obscured, goes out with the dash pot, perhaps wants to try and find a shot.
Suzu gets across here. Dodonut's not involved in the fight. She's out in the open, brought down. She's able to find one at the very least, and Suzu's traded out by Lakes from Heaven now. ZETA stopping their tracks. The spike, though, is ahead of them on A itself. They need to recover it.
And suddenly danger, they're stuck in the choke with the spike down its switch. Dodo going in.
FlyQuest have weapons as well. They can really work with this. Moko TP's into her own smoke. Wins that out. How does she win that? A second as well. Oh my goodness, Moko. Makes it up to Serena again. Gets it done. FlyQuest are broken.
It shouldn't be possible. The spike is down its switch. How do they get in like that? How does Moko adjust the movement with the crosshair like that so perfectly? Wide in the open, swinging out of that dark cover. What a way to breach the site, though, with the teleport into her own smoke. Perfect shots. Look at that.
The drop down there for Ev as well.
God, that is Moko having a quiet map, too. Dragging the team through some round wins on Haven where they lost. But now returning to form on Ascent, that flank on the prior round, as well. Insane.
The whole year for FlyQuest hinges on this round. They've had such a strong showing domestically.
This could be
short here.
This could be the first series win for Japan at an international event for Suzu returning. They are closer than they've ever been.
Suzu gets up mid again. No Sentinel util, but 3 pairs of eyes from FlyQuest watching this line. Leaves them pretty thinly spread elsewhere. Suzu might have a tailwind out of this, but no. The drone gets cleared for her. Ev now as well going to go for the Hunter's Fury. Suzu with the timing, doesn't win it out. Thea's going to be there. FlyQuest's heavy stack towards mid pays off.
Dark cover goes down to obscure that mid view now, so ZETA can cross back and forth, but the recon gets a lot of pings. Wow. Spam through onto UR as well.
Sova util's been good, man.
Real danger to falling there.
UR with some of her own, but that's an out drone that gets stopped short. Lace will clear it all. She doesn't even care about the dark cover.
And the thing is that dark cover just doesn't matter when the sonic sensor is up on Cat as well. I mean,
grabbing it as well. Over towards the B side for ZETA, limping a little bit now. Arco and UR a little low. Starbound emerges immediately from the cyber cage though and takes that kill. Mineral Theft got to show all. And ZETA Division now down to 2. Arco on the wrong side of that dark cover. Has to put it together with UR to win the map here. Almost impossible. 10 seconds left of the round. Perhaps some economic damage. As ZETA have plenty of money to spend here. Plenty to try and keep Fly low. And that's 4 guns kept for FlyQuest, and they are still alive.
Lovely anchoring from Starbound. They really stopped them at that choke as necessary.
Great call as well on the adaptation to stack them in.
Absolutely. FlyQuest finding their footing on this defensive half, finally, at least just for a moment. But still, as mentioned earlier, after that timeout that Jovi took, taking a look at the game in totality, obstacles to overcome for FlyQuest in every aspect of the game. They need to heat up on an individual level. They need to overcome this round deficit, and within that, it's so even tougher to overcome when ZETA had gotten off to the start where their economy is just out of control. Look at it still right now. Suzu with 7.5k. Everyone else has already bought up 2k plus for multipliers. Like, they're not going to be on an eco anytime soon. FlyQuest are going to have to really dig deep to win gun round after gun round, and then eventually you run into the ZETA alt round where your site is just getting hammered with a Hunter's Fury, with a null command, a lockdown for a post plant, and the odds are stacked against you in the most insurmountable way.
And ZETA, this is the first of their timeouts. They've had to use this map. They might be trying to put something together around Serena's lockdown here to try and take the series now.
See them try to get this orb as well for UR in main to just be one away from the Hunter's Fury. I mean, look at the status of the utility, the defensive setups from the trips from Fly. There is nothing over on B. Nothing.
And that's where ZETA are going to press here. Paranoia. Signals are fast hit. Suzu with the Cloudburst thrown down. She still wants to go for a Blade Storm. Eviscerated. Suzu wants more. Still hungry, but Akko gets involved as well. And that's the meal that's being shared. Player advantage here for ZETA. Not quite into the B site yet. Suzu wants to play up towards Market though, and Al might have spotted Dodo. She wants it. Backs away. Annihilation. Looks like there's a catch here. Yes. UR has to reload, can't do too much about it, but Akko gets the plant down. ZETA still have to land this plane, and Suzu gets caught for free.
They'll have to deal with these players in B main. This setup from ZETA is tough to contend with. It's going to be a late wrap from Moko into the retake as well.
0 point there. He's got to see everything. 3 players now coming. They know ZETA are ready for it, but is that going to be enough? Flash out from Akko. 1 and 2. 3 for Akko, and Starbound stays alive. It's Moko. From a hitherto unknown position. Starbound does not have the information about this positioning and is going to go for it. Gets it to half. And there it is for G1624. Japan have finally arrived.
Suzu has finally been able to win a series at a GCC. The second attempt here, the second attempt in Berlin as well. It took 4 tries and they've overcome one of NA's best. And sadly for Fly, out in 2. For Thea and Starbound running it back, not able to get their first victory here. It was tough goings for them. Blaze having to sub in today with Sonder out. Some of the odds stacked against them. But think about it from the point of view of ZETA. Doing something that the region has never been able to do before. Moko just showing up in that way on the final map. But it's Suzu just taking over the game, the second half of Sunset. All of those kills, dropping 31 on map 2 into a Jet performance like that on map 3.
FlyQuest has been such an incredible year for them. This has got to be a bitter pill to swallow, I'm sure. But all through it, even listening into them in that third map, they are saying, yeah, I want to win, yeah, I want this. ZETA just wanted it a little bit better, truly putting their region on the map here and doing it in style. 13 and 6. On Ascent to close things out. It was a great defense side. The turnaround on the attack, that's what really impressed us. Yeah, Suzu was leading the charge, but Moko, incredible anchoring on that A side. A clutch to win the series. Coach Ryota coming in with these great timeout calls.
Cannot be understated the impact that Coach Ryota had on this game. Back on Haven, even during that 13-6 loss, with Fly just coming out swinging, all of them on fire in terms of the gunplay. After his timeouts, is when ZETA started to string some rounds together. Ultimately, Fly were too strong on that map. But then when it goes to Sunset, which I said at the time, and I felt was a very big risk taken by Fly to pick into a map where ZETA had performed well in the online qualifier, it was Ryota again. Took a timeout, and after that, ZETA strung 5 rounds together in the first half to take the lead. And then they close it out because of Suzu just taking this to an entirely new level.
And this is early in the game, right? Just catching 2 with that huge kill earlier on. Early rounds here, we saw on the defense side, ZETA Division knew they were playing against the deadlock. They knew they had to get ahead of these post plants whenever possible. And they did their homework, right? They understood the assignment. Suzu with the operator. And she looks comfortable. Not even overheating at all. Looks like she's having fun, really settled in here, and that takes a victory for them on that stage. That is going to propel Zeta Division surely to greater heights. They're alive in this lower bracket.
That is the Z Division we just watched. That is mentally unbreakable. Even in Haven, when Fly were crushing them, they never lost that aggression, that confidence. They didn't have that online, but they have showed up with it in spades at GCC, and it's gotten them this win.
Let's head down to Yinsu on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview.
Historical moment that was. I am now joined by Serena here from Zeta and Kohei to do some translations as well. Now, no Japanese team has ever managed to take a win at Game Changers Champs, and you guys have just done it. Talk me through your emotions, Serena, being a part of that first and making history today.
日本のチームとしては初めての試合取得となります。今の気持ちをお聞かせください。
なんか最初のヘイブンマップ終わってちょっと気持ちがちょっとって感じがあって、どうしたら強いになるかな、めっちゃ困ったんですけど、試合始まる前、妹さんが私になんかいい言葉言って自信持っていてって言って、その後3セットでめちゃくちゃ強いになって、だから3セットを勝って、最後の戦闘もみんな楽しくプレーやって勝って、マジでこの試合勝ったらマジで嬉しいや、明日も試合出るわ、マジで嬉しいになったんです。
So after Haven, I was feeling a little bit down, but during the interval, Moko came up to me and she said, "Have confidence, you can do it." And then in Sunset, I was really able to pull it off. And then in the last map, we were really having fun. So, and when we won, just realizing that we can play again tomorrow, it made me really happy.
It made all of us very, very happy. As well. I'm really glad you mentioned that interval because I was standing by the stage and I saw that your teammates had gone backstage and you stayed and you were looking very, very, concentrated on your PC. So I wanted to ask you, what were you doing? Were you maybe in the range? What was kind of going through your mind at that time?
最初のマップの後にセレナさんだけステージに残ってたと思うんですけど、その時に何をしてたのか、どんな気持ちだったのか教えてもらえますか？
昨日から悪く感じもあって、なんか練習もその前からあんまりできてないからセンチナルはエイムがマジで大事だから私はエイム練習しようってなって衝撃でめっちゃシェリフを練習してます。
So recently I haven't been able to keep up my aims, and then as a Sentinel player it's very important to have those aims, so I was in the range and practicing my sheriffs.
I mean, the practice, it paid off. Your aim, for me, sugoi. Lovely aim. Now, not just for the Japanese, I feel like, Valorant, because you're Korean. So how does it make you feel to also be the first Korean player to be here making waves and potentially going further in the tournament as well?
日本のチームとしてだけじゃなくて、セレナ選手、韓国人の選手として初めての勝利となります。その初めての勝利の選手となった気持ちをお聞かせください。
韓国人が日本チーム入って日本語を喋れるのも結構難しいんですけど、めちゃくちゃ日本語を勉強してチームたちにも助けもらって、みんなと合わせてなんかスクリームとかうまくいって、まあみんな韓国語も結構喋って、結構じゃなくてもなんか楽しく喋って、私をなんか助けれる部分があったから、マジでありがたいわもうあって、韓国人が入ったチームを勝利してマジで嬉しいです。次も街で勝ちたいです。
So being a Korean person to be playing on the Japanese team, I really studied hard on my Japanese. But not only that, but my teammate also practiced Korean, and they often give me words of encouragement in Korean. So lots of thanks to my teammates for supporting me, and really want to take it farther tomorrow's match too.
Wow, guys, how could you not love this team? How could you not? Thank you very much, Chloe, for the translation. We will see you tomorrow, Serena. I cannot wait. That is one elimination match done, but we have another one, so make sure you guys stay tuned for Giant X versus ALG.
to Rebel home ground.
오므라동 2023 챔피언!
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.